Today's guest is a detective. He analyzes and brings to light the deep intricacies of the Pokemon franchise, the fan of old Pokemon stuff, and comes to us straight from Petalburg Woods. Skilling presents Droomish. How are you doing, my friend?
Good. I'm tired. Main descriptor besides good, but
Right.
I'm on fall break right now, so it's
nice.
better than usual.
There you go. I was going to say, I
great.
think I can echo the tired part for sure. How long are you on break for?
Get the whole week this year. It's awesome. I'm very
Nice.
happy.
Yeah.
playing the games, and I took a nap earlier. That was a big addition to my day.
Honestly, naps for
Love
the
taking
best.
it easy.
We wanted to kind of get started by getting to know you a little bit more, just kind of like little things in your life, hobbies, things of that nature. Obviously, we've been stalking you for the last week and a half, getting ready for this interview, to kind of find some fun questions for you and things. So the first thing we wanted to ask you was, early in September, you tweeted that you and some friends were going to get together for some burgers and Pokemon Battle Revolution. So the first question we have for you is, what makes the perfect burger? And after that, how was the night? We love Pokemon Battle Revolution, and love to showcase like the stadium like series and things of that nature. So
Okay, so unfortunately, I did play Battle Revolution. That was a joke. I'm sorry. I saw a similar tweet years ago that said like the best or like the only thing that guys want is burgers and PBR, like the drink, and I don't know. I've never meshed with beer, and I thought, well, I can have PBR too, but I don't think most people got it. But
It's a
Battle
different version
Revolution
of
was
PBR.
good, and I think, what is it? Oh, onions on a burger for sure.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
And no, I'm not very picky. Otherwise, I like good grilled onions, and I actually really like my surprise hit for the year has been the Impossible Whopper from Burger King. And
Oh,
I don't have a very I'm not I don't know, a very tough eater. Sometimes red meat's really hard on me, so that, and it's like,
Right.
oh my gosh, I'm not tired after a burger. This is awesome.
nice.
So
That's cool. No, we saw that. We thought that was super funny. We're like, dude, Pokemon Battle Revolution, underrated Stadium Series game. I mean, like, joke or not, in fact, that's probably funnier than I could have expected.
I was
going
like sitting here going, I'm like, I think this might be a joke, but I'm gonna ask you anyway because I just need to know. So
any excuse to bring up Battle Revolution, honestly.
yeah, for real. Honestly, like one of the things I was thinking about with that is that like just because Battle Revolution makes so great is like the 3D models of the Pokemon and their personality. Like I remember Honchkrow, like when he dies and he just like salutes. Like it's just like, oh, it's so good.
Stuff like that, yeah.
I would, when I was God, I was like 9, or no, it had to have been later. I had Diamond or Pearl, but I got it from Blockbuster. It was a long time ago. I got Battle
Right.
Revolution, but I spent the entire week that I had it rented just playing Battle Revolution, which is nuts to me now because it is just a battle simulator. But I got
really all
through
it is.
the entire game as on a rental, and I beat the Magic Man at the end of the game just using the rental team.
Nice.
But I think it's all the stuff you're saying. It was like first I was like, oh my gosh, I can play Pokemon on the TV, and I'm sitting in a chair in the back of the room, and it's awesome. It's how they move in my dreams. This is amazing.
Dude, I don't have to have the screen right in front of my face. Dude, also just the arenas in that game too, just so much personality, a lot of color. I mean, compare that to I love Scarlet and Violet, but the online kind of default arena you have is a little bland compared to what you could maybe have. And I don't know. Yeah, I mean, not to sound like the guy, it's like, oh, they did it better back in the day, but I mean, the Battle Revolution, yeah, it just had a ton of personality with the way it looks. It's Revolution, man. Yeah,
it was indeed.
It really is. So
I think it's fine, and I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's in the backyard of the school or whatever. It's just one, and Battle Revolution
it's just
has
the one.
15 or something around
Something
there,
like
and
that.
they're all you can look and be like, oh my gosh, there's a Pachirisu balloon floating back there.
Yeah,
stuff like that is everywhere. So
I just remember being mind blown because it also puts into perspective the size and scale of the Pokemon. So I'm like, oh, let's
yeah.
transfer over my Groudon or my Kyogre, and then I send it out, and it just this Kyogre's floating over my head, and you can barely see my little trainer sprite, and I'm like, 12 years old, and I'm like, this is incredible. But
Well,
at the end of the
and
day, it's like it's not like it's a crazy. It's just a battle simulator. It's not like it's a
Yeah.
groundbreaking game. It's just I don't know
my
the simple
favorite,
things.
my favorite was always when you thought Groudon and Kyogre were all big and stuff, and then you throw Wailord, and you're like, oh yeah, there's the biggest
Now we're
one.
talking. Now we're talking.
So along with that, the Sevi Islands and Pokemon Fire and Leaf Green. We're kind of going down nostalgia lane already. Kind of what are some, like, you have a love of those games. You said they were like huge nostalgia for you. I just kind of like, what are your favorite memories of going through those games as a kid?
Oh God, I just wrote and recorded a whole thing about the Sevi Islands. It's
Let's go.
really, really. It's okay. It's I played Leaf Green first, and I don't know. I was bad. I was a kid, and my dad had to help me beat the game. I just couldn't do it. I had gotten to the end, and I somehow didn't understand that Dragonair would evolve. I thought that was just the end because I was like, it's level 45. Usually
Sure
it
enough.
happens
There's
by
no
now.
way.
Right.
So, and my dad is like, okay, well, just maybe a little bit more. And then he is able to get me through. He's able to get me through the champion with Dragonite. And so I already spent like, I don't know, I want to say like 40 to 50 hours. Cause I'm like 6 or 7 or something on this. And then, so it's already like, I'm already super, super hyped to go into the post game and see like what's after this big barrier. And, I ended up like, I think I don't know exactly what was going on, but this Leaf Green file many years later, like it would crash because I had maxed out the save clock on it. It's
Oh
like
my
a
gosh.
weird. Yeah, I think the flash save runs out at 1,000 hours. That's how excited I was about. I was in love with these islands after I was like, oh my gosh, it's so rewarding to be here, and it was just. It was not like a place that I had seen like represented in a game. It really reminded me of like um where I was from and like where I was living, because it's just like it's like almost like it's like a stoic area of a game.
Yeah.
And I had
Oh,
played
yeah.
a few games. Main one I played with before this was Mario 64, and I think at the time I had Mario 64 DS and Leaf Green, and I had played some of Mario 64, but it's like it's really, really good, but it is so lively, and they've like maximized every corner, and I really felt like I was like, I don't know, like I it, like life changing, just like, because it wasn't empty, but this area, but it's like it's quiet and it's subtle, and there's like big open rugged landscapes, and that's like the people are like saying like, oh, we kind of live out in the country, but we're near the big city. It doesn't really affect us, but things are nice out here, and things are quiet, and you get to see like, and this is on like Game Boy Advance era graphics, but I was so impressed by the land masses and just like the beauty of the nature that it was. And I've never. I think actually Scarlet and Violet might get it for me in a different way because of the sometimes emptiness of open world, but they've like, and so like I grew up in a town that was like it wasn't in the middle of nowhere, but it was like that, but it wasn't in the middle of nowhere because it was next to a big town like Kanto, like it was next to the big city. And I don't know, for so it felt really like represented being at the Sevi Islands, because it's like people are talking about it, but it's not a big thing here, and there's like Team Rocket is vaguely involved.
Yeah.
I was so touched by it, and I don't think I've ever felt something like it since then. And I thought like for the longest time I was like, oh, this is the best place in Pokemon, undisputed. And I've learned recently it's really not that popular, but it is like kind of very personal connection to me. I think some of my best times were spent there, and I think they also kind of leaned into their strong suit, like of just like landscapes with people who like just fun, like wild, like adventure like landscapes with like people who are just interesting and are not like, and it's in the post game, so they're not assaulting you with tooltips and stuff. Like you're just like like I think I also kind of got it from, I got the new Pokemon Snap. Like it was similar to that. It's just like, because it's not like the contrivity of the, it's not contrived in a bad way, but like the Safari Zone is like this like special little enclosed area, and like this is like getting to go out kind of in the Wild West, which I always thought was like, this is the way like where Pokemon should be, and or like places like this is like where you could really have this adventure. Not that it's bad, like any environment, but like this is the one that I kind of like would dream about, like if I was going to make a game. And I think they also get pretty well with the ones on the GameCube. That's very rugged and very wild. But I think, and now like I don't know, trying to look past my nostalgia, it's so impressive to me because it's like the vibe that I still catch in such like a graphically limited setting. And like I think especially like the seventh island is like, it might just be like my happy place from games, is like getting to go up and down the canyon, and there's a little puzzle with the unknown, and there's all these weirdos out there, and like people adventuring. Like it feels like not just the West, but like the idea of the West, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love that.
I love the way that. Oh yeah, you go, Logan.
Oh, I was just saying, like I get that similar vibe. Like I think the way you said it was really good. Just like, because I always remember the Hypno in I can't remember which island it is, but there's like that.
Oh yeah, the forest.
Yeah, the forest, and it's just like, for me, I was just this ominous feeling of something like, I was like, what was gonna happen here? So yeah, no. Anyway, I just love the way you phrased that. That was awesome.
It's just shrouded in so much mystery because, like you said, it's not necessarily the most populated, but it's one of those areas. Each island has something really unique, and you don't have to do it by any means. Like you said, it's not shoving it in your face. It's post game, but you're thoroughly rewarded for really kind of diving in and immersing yourself in these ways that in no way resemble anything you saw in Kanto. And it's just cool. I remember, and as a kid, I remember thinking like these seemingly insignificant little cave areas, like if you walk on this tile in a certain direction, or press A against the wall here, that a legendary Pokemon or something. It's just stuff like that, like those quirky little things where you never you don't know where those kinds of things originated, but I don't know, but yeah, that's just the kind of feeling that the Sevi Islands really evoked, and I agree. I think it's very special, and we haven't really seen anything like it since.
Yeah, they're so. I do really like Kanto Gen 1, but it's like so. I don't even like. It's not like maximalist, but it's like every corner means something.
It's intentional. And, everything's intentional.
Like exactly. It's extremely, like every corner is extremely intentional, and I don't know. I kind of wish games would do like it's like intentional unintentionality. Like it's just the woods. Like getting to go into your backyard and like what's my day gonna be? What's my day gonna be like? Just walking around.
Well, I remember finding Moltres for the first time too, because Moltres is up there. You have to surf up, and then and so that was the thing too, is that like you found this random legendary just out of nowhere too. Like that was really cool. So I love that idea. Yeah.
They've got all that. I mean, it's like GBA era nonsense, but all like those secrets they're like hiding there, because it's like Deoxys is technically there, and Ho-Oh and Lugia are like hiding behind the scenes. I didn't know that until much later, but it was still like whoa.
Yeah. So that actually kind of leads me into our next question of maybe some perhaps missed potential that we haven't seen since. I saw you mentioned recently something regarding Pokemon X and Y. Is there anything that you would have personally loved to have seen in an XY sequel that we never got?
I mean, like, oh my gosh, do you have... I could go on about this for hours. This is like my white whale, like this. So
No, I thought about this too. So I really, cause I saw you tweeted that. I'm like, I have to hear what he says because I feel like there's definitely something here that we're not getting. So
Moby Drew, here
I
we go.
I loved Fire and Leaf Green and the Sevi Islands, and it's definitely the best place. But I don't know what it was. I think it was just like a special time to play Pokemon, and I don't know, like the public cycle seems to be very weird on this. But I'm unapologetically like X and Y are my favorite. They were
nice.
They were the best when they were the best to me when they came out. I had the most fun with them, and it's the only like pre Nat Deck split that I just like finished it on my own, like
That's awesome.
just straight through. I just like I don't know, not for like I don't know. It wasn't even like a grind. Like it was just like God, I love this. Like I need to do this because this is the one. Oh, I mean, there's just so much. I know that there was so much, and they recently had that big break on they had that big Did You Know Gaming expose on it. I don't know if you saw that, but like
Yeah.
there was supposed to be like an X2 Y2 type thing.
Really?
Yeah, it is. I think it's like the least developed of any of the canceled games, but there's like a register for it, like in Pokemon Home, that is like there's like 2 missing slots that are just called Kalos Reserves in the game's code,
Yeah.
which was gonna be the next one, and there was like when I was playing it, there was so much I was convinced it was like, oh my God, like I'm either missing something or like this is coming soon.
Or there'll be
I
more.
think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
The big one when I was actually playing it was the like there's like 4 power stations, and you
Mhm.
only go in one as part of the Team Flare plot. But they give you this huge like they like shift the camera angle. You're like in the desert and you like walk up a little bit, and then they like the camera gets like pointed up like 90-ish degrees, and then you see in the distance this like huge like hulking like I don't know, like a science fiction looking facility, and there's like a little like what are they like an outhouse sized building in front of you with just a door in front of it that seems to go to that power plant, and it's just locked, and I don't think there's any way to get in there. But like the theory at the time was like one of them was air power for Rayquaza, one of them was hydropower for Kyogre, and one of them was I don't know my words, whatever the Earth one was for Groudon, and they like one of them was like had like big wind turbines, and one of them looked like a hydroelectric plant. It's like, oh my God, like I can't wait to go inside here and see what's going on. And then, I mean, the other big one that I like really thought about when I was done playing was just everything Zygarde, and you can see how weird that was in Sun and Moon, like. I thoroughly enjoyed Sun and Moon as well, just playing it, but nothing felt more out of place than like having Gen 6 characters come up and be like, here's the Zygarde quest that we never let you do in
the previous
X and
games.
Y. It's not, and it wasn't like disappointing. Well, that wasn't disappointing, but this was disappointing because it's like, oh my gosh, like I can only imagine what would have been because. And I was showing my girlfriend this the other day. I was like, look, in the Pokédex in X and Y, Zygarde's Pokédex says that when the environment is in turmoil, it unleashes its secret power.
Yeah.
We don't know what the secret power is. I'm never gonna know what the secret power is, and I'm gonna be rolling in my grave not knowing what the secret power is. And I don't care what they did in the anime. I don't care what they did in Sun and Moon. I want to know what was gonna happen for Zygarde and AZ and his Flowit and what all of this stuff meant. I am desperate to know. It gets me riled up. I've got like there's like that, and totally unrelated, but there was this like series of Sonic comic books, like Sonic the Hedgehog, and the story was also like unceremoniously cut at a certain point, and then they had to totally reboot it.
It's the worst thing.
2 of just like the greatest horrors in my life. Like I love this universe, and I'm never gonna know what happened.
I won't know what happens next.
That's devastating.
It stinks. I think the lore behind Kalos and Sinnoh as well, which is another thing we want to bring up a little bit later. Like the lore in those 2 regions is fascinating. I think those two are unlike any other region as far as like, yeah, I'm just background of the region, the legendaries that play into the story. And at least, of course, with Diamond Pearl and the Platinum, you get a lot of closure with that. You get additional information on Giratina. You go into the distortion world, you see some alternate events and whatnot. And then you just never get that closure with X and Y. And I mean, to this day, I'm just fascinated by Zygarde. It's one of the most unique legendaries, let alone Pokemon, period. And you just, you just don't know.
Well, and the thing is with Zygarde, we still never got just like we've never really gotten even just like the slightest bit of lore or anything besides the fact that it's there, right? Like, I mean, you get like those stories in Sun and Moon, like those quests in Sun and Moon, but like with Giratina, you got the deeper lore. With generally the third legendary, you get some sort of deeper intricacies about it, but Zygarde, you don't, and it's sad to see that, because like you get the full, like, I mean, like we've gotten the full construct on the complete Zygarde, right? But we don't know what that means. We don't know what that's for, and it's just like it'd be so interesting to see kind of in that trio, kind of how they all relate, kind of like how Kyogre, Rayquaza, and Groudon do.
I want it so bad. Oh my gosh, you
Sorry, we got you worked
exactly
up now.
right.
we got you worked up.
I think that they like showed like enough for it to be like, yeah, like this makes sense. Like
It's satisfactory.
Like Xerneas's life and Yveltal is death, and they represent the flow of they represent the life cycle, and then
Right.
at least my interpretation of it was like Zygarde represented the balance of that life cycle, and then and that's I thought it was so, I was like that's exciting, because like for Zygarde to exist and for us to have a story around it, something is going to upset the life cycle itself, and then Zygarde is going to have to use its special power, and
a la Rayquaza with Kyogre and Groudon. Yeah,
and it's going to be amazing. But okay, there's also like you mentioned like it wasn't Sinnoh, but like they went to like pretty intentional lengths to connect it to other regions and be like, yeah, Hoenn is a part of this. There's another timeline. And all of that was, I thought, building to something awesome. Like, but I think it just got cut at a bad time. I know that they were trying to work on their other studio at the time. I don't think it was because they moved that stuff into Sun and Moon just because I think just because they had it, and it would have been a waste at that point. But I think it was like something was there. It's definitely not the end. At least it was not the end, and that's the worst part about it.
Totally.
Oh yeah. Well, kind of like in kind of continuing on to this inspiration, these things that you get you riled up, things of that nature. Looking through your feed and just kind of listening to you right now, there's lots of things that clearly seem to have inspired you, have been a part of your life, and we're wondering something like what is like a book, like game, movie, things of that nature. What is something that's truly inspired you, just in general in life?
Oh, like as an art, you mean?
Yeah, art, or it can be Pokemon still, like related. I'm just curious, like something general.
I think one that I got very, very early. I was checking these books out from the library. Was that like, because and I don't think it really had to be Pokemon what my thing was, but it had to have been like before Diamond and Pearl came out. But I was able to check out the Pokemon Adventures manga. Have you ever heard of those?
Oh yeah.
Before and they were very like, I think they maybe had around 20 issues when I started reading them, but only about 8 in the US. And it was just like it showed me kind of the limits of this, or like and at the time I was like, this is Pokemon, but also now I think like it's like, like any world, as long as you like take the premise seriously, like this is the magic that you could find in it. This is like the magic that you could surround yourself with. And so I read those books, and I read them constantly.
Yeah.
And like, and it like, I mean, it's not. I'm sure there's something, but it really felt like they didn't miss anything. Like random characters from I remember specifically like Fire Red and Leaf Green. Like there's like the guy in Mount Moon who he's mad that you're trying to take the fossils. He's he's a villain for several chapters. He's explored into being a serious villain that messes with the main character of the arc. And
I love that.
And yeah, so many side characters. Like I think the Pokemon fan club, the guy who runs it, he is a tertiary character into the series now, and they're like on Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, and he's been in almost every, and it's the same
That's
guy.
so funny. From Vermilion City.
Yeah, and he's like total weirdo, and they like start him off by saying he's like, oh, finally, the secret to infinite money. I've taught my Rapidash and Firo Payday. And
that's
he's just
hilarious.
on and on from there. But they took everything and explored it, and
I love that.
I think I got that idea pretty early. Like I'm just seeing sprites. I think that's also like kind of the power of sprite art. Like I'm not unhappy with the new look, and I'm also not like I even like the way that the 3D models look in when they move to 3D. I think they're fine.
Yeah.
But like there's a power in sprites, I think,
Yeah.
that is like that like just fuels imagination. And it can if you use them well, which is like that's the whole thing in Black and White. Like it was like that was like the max power of sprite based artwork.
Yeah.
And not just because it's like a clean look, but I think that it like fills you with imagination. And so I'm looking at like, I don't know, like just like not very detailed at all characters, and just like, you know, imagining an entire world because someone had shown to me that like all this is all this is possible if you just like sink into your premise. And that manga series was I still highly recommend it. Extremely good. It's ongoing. They do it for every generation, and there's like continuity across the world, which is really cool. But I think it's like just a testament of like, I don't know, looking for it, looking for the fun in a world that's maybe really not that much. Other than that, I mean, besides like the games themselves, I think that in a much different way, I was quite taken for a while, but it's definitely like worked into the way that I think about this stuff is the and I watched these originally in a philosophy class, but at first it was the Matrix trilogy, and then it was the first Blade Runner movie. But the reason why we watched them was just like yeah, these are relatively interesting worlds, but like the main thing that's going on here is like in fiction, like just asking questions of your universe. And so ever since like and it wasn't just the movie, but it was also like the professor I had at the time, like and not in a way like I'm also not somebody who like challenges the premise of something. Like if you tell me that something is silly and that's the universe, like all right, it's silly. I can get into silly.
Do that.
But like I'm like the question I'm gonna ask is like, okay, like why are we silly? Why are we like what's going like can you tell me why this is happening, or why you thought to do that? And it's like hopefully not in like an annoying like Socrates type way, but like I see a universe and like really anything, and I don't know, just like any pondering I can do beyond that is like really like I guess those movies really imparted on me like the good that you can do, or like for yourself and for the medium when you're really just really give it some thought, like really
analyzing
ask those
it.
questions.
Yeah, for sure.
And just notice and try to like appreciate maybe deeper things that you missed. And I was like that was like The Matrix, especially was like my movie for years, and for that
Nice.
reason, just to think about the universe. Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that
that's
That's
really good.
beautiful.
I think that reflects directly in your content too, because you do kind of dive into these maybe glossed over things or smaller things that, you know, one might take for granted within specifically, of course, the Pokemon universe. And, you know, it's like, what is this? There may or may not be a reason to it. For example, like the Machoke and the guy in Vermilion City
Yeah.
stomping down the ground forever and ever and ever. It's like, what is there? I don't know. There may or may not be a reason to something, but like, what's the harm in asking the question and really thinking about it and exercising that part of your brain? And that's the beauty of it, in my opinion, which is why I think it's interesting you know, you bring up those movies as some inspiration specifically. So
I know,
it's
and
cool.
I kind of with that one, and I was just I had that, and I thought about that when I was little. I don't know. I mean, at the time, it was like the passing thought is like, what is this guy building? I
Mhm.
kind of wish I knew, and
Well, it's
just
like
letting
it's like a
that.
quarter of it's like a massive part
Yeah.
of the map in Vermilion City too. It's like a
Yeah,
quarter of it. It's
it,
like,
it draws your eyes,
for sure.
and but when I started like writing that, and that was one of the first things that I did that was like fully scripted, that like uses well, it was one of the first things, but I had switched from doing like just improv stuff to scripting, and I was trying to find stuff about it. I was like, surely this has been done. Like I'm adding
Mhm.
a new perspective on it, and I really couldn't find anything, which I thought
Yeah.
was very odd. I it I mean, like, I'm happy to have found something that it was like, ha, I did this. Like, I'm the first person to do this, but also like it was really weird to me that like
Mhm.
this hadn't been discussed. It was one of my most pressing questions
Right.
from that set of games, and I don't know. And then, but when I did it, all you know, people were just pouring out of the walls, pretty much to say like, it's like I've been thinking about this. I'm like, it's like, oh, finally, like I'm not like
Some
this isn't.
validation. It's not just
Yeah,
me.
this isn't weird. Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay. That's funny.
I love it. I love it so much. So kind of along with this, with your content and things of that nature. I mean, I think if I remember correctly, you were like around 10K, like in like April, June, or something like that. And you've shot up, which is awesome. Like you deserve it. We're excited for you. Um, we're just kind of wondering, like, how does that feel? Like, I mean, I know that you've been working hard at this, and like, what do you feel kind of has contributed to your growth?
I think the lens is really like the more I do this, like I guess they like the thing I think and hope is resonant with what I do is like that lens I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
because like I
Mhm.
think I'm 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 surprised I'm hitting new stuff, but like I'm trying to like hit the things that I wondered about as a kid that I never got. And yeah, also like taking it seriously also
Mhm.
helps. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
if I had I give any general advice, if you're doing art and you take it seriously, you're probably going to be happier with it, whether or not it pops off.
Definitely.
Um, I guess also like I guess in that vein, I try to like not necessarily outdo myself, but like I want it to be really good every time,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like with any art medium, like, and I'm not I my background is chemistry, and I like started like anything in content just a few years ago. I streamed for a while, and so like you know, every time I want to like, it's like, oh, I've seen like in a video they like put a little TV over what's going on, and they put something inside the little TV. Like I need to spend an hour now learning how to do that. Like so like I'm so totally doing it as I go, but like I don't know, whatever, like I don't I don't think, I guess I try to stick with the mindset of like, even if I made something that's perfect, like I like that people are going to tell me is perfect, like I probably finished it thinking like, "Oh, I'm not quite there yet. Like I
Mm.
still like I'm still learning this and trying to like that wasn't exactly right. I'm not good enough to do it exactly right yet, so I got to keep learning. And I mean, also like it's definitely luck part of it for sure.
The all-knowing YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, I can't. I'm
No one's
not
cracked
gonna
it.
tell you. I'm not gonna tell you I'm not doing like I'm not like doing something magical. Sometimes it just happens, and
Right.
Mhm.
I don't know about that, but I think like a really like cool intersection that I've gotten to do of like chasing the algorithm along with like doing it kind of my way is I do think I kind of like came up with, I guess, an inventive form. I actually really, and I know a lot of people hate them, but I really like doing the short form content on YouTube combined with my style, and I think that has snowballed a lot of traction for me. But I am also like teaching is like that's my job now, and I've been like, whether it's a TA or just a tutor or like with a small classroom, I've been like that since like 17. Yeah, since I was about 17, and
Wow.
It's like kind of my favorite challenge is like, can I break down this like what is like in game like an expert concept? Can I get that to like a more casual audience in less than 60 seconds
I
and
love that.
like put a spin on it? And
That's a
I think
talent, honestly.
I think people really resonated with that. I hope at least my friends will tell me that it's like, I knew that this existed, and but I didn't like they didn't make any sense to me, and you got it to me in under a minute, and it's like it's just like it's like streamlined trivia breakdown, and that's I mean, if there's something that I'm doing, I guess I would say like it's something that I'm doing, it's probably that, I guess. Like, and that also extends to everything else. Like I love teaching, and I kind of consider all of it like an exercise in teaching, and then just for this, it often just comes down to good communication. That's my if I was gonna, I guess, like prescribe advice, like everything you can be doing is awesome and fun and exciting, and I don't know, not like as like a diss, but it's just like sometimes it's hard to understand. Like Pokemon gets complicated sometimes, and games get complicated sometimes, and I think you can really like break down a barrier with someone if you like just invest in your communication, and you're like meeting people halfway, if that all makes sense.
Definitely does.
No,
No, that's I think you hit it all perfect. And we wanted to ask you a couple more questions regarding some recent videos we've seen, and then end it off with we have kind of a rapid fire round with some fun questions, and then
Awesome.
a couple other fun things to end on a fun mood. But one video that specifically struck a chord with us was your video on the unsung heroes of Gen 4. And the reason for that is because Logan and I just did a soul link of Renegade Platinum. For those listening who aren't familiar, it's essentially just a difficulty ROM hack of the vanilla Platinum game, but you got extra boss battles, more competitive sets, there's more encounters. It's the whole, I mean, for example, you think you're strolling along to Hearthome City to fight Fantina, and all of a sudden Aaron shows up to fight you, and he doesn't give you the option to back out, and next thing you know, you're fighting an Elite Four member before the third gym. So that kind of thing, but it's really fun. And the other thing with that is that you do run into those characters like Mira, Riley, Marley, and before they accompany you on your journey, you fight them. You get there, you go across their teams. They're really tough to fight, and then you go through your journey, and then you part ways. I loved the introspective that you offered on that. That these are more than just kind of some generic characters. Like they aren't like youngster so and so or cool trainer so and so or scientist whatever or parasol lady whatever. Like these are clearly some pretty unique characters, but you see them for a little bit and then you part ways and then you kind of do your thing and they do their thing. I want to know, who's your favorite, who kind of connects with you maybe on a backstory level or as far as how their team is built. And do you have any other sort of fun ideas for any other quote unquote unsung heroes that you would want to see in some future games?
But like in new games, like
yeah, maybe in the future, or yeah.
I mean, I think the thing that like And I think the first time like that I had anything that was like a thought of like this was like it was the Diamond and Pearl demo was like at Walmart's and Targets or
I remember
something, and I
that.
think I'm fairly certain Riley was in that. Like he's like
Yeah.
the guy doing the tutorial in the
Yes, he is.
demo,
That's
and
correct.
like I just thought like this is a character from the anime. Like Ash would run into someone. There's like a guy of the week, and he's got his own guy of the week stuff going on. And this world is Ash is gonna leave at the end of the episode, but this world is big enough where you're kind of like ensured that like that guy's he's still doing his own stuff. And I don't know if they were at that point yet, but like in that it's like frequently you'll see like they like um lots of Pokemon from like Ash would get to come back, but like especially like I loved the most recent season because it was for new fans and old fans. Like
I agree.
like Ash is like he's like oh he's like oh they did like a callback to like Chuck from Gold and Silver, like the gym leader, and I was like Ash, that was almost 20 years ago for us. Like but like yeah, he's still out there, you're still out here, there's
it's a real world for them.
yeah, it's a real world, and Pokemon is the perfect game to have characters like that.
Oh yeah,
It really should every time that there's like just people like that aren't youngsters or like that aren't like a trainer class other than Pokemon trainer that are like they don't even have to be rivals. It's just like hey man, like I'm going around too, and I think it's definitely different, but like I probably have to say maybe low hanging fruit, but like N is my favorite of this. It's not exactly the same way, but he's
very unique. I agree.
I think they still like got the picture with that, because like and whether it was not a Pokemon journey like your own, which I think adds to like the coolness of it, is like N is on like a journey of self discovery, and he's like you get to an area that he's at, and he's like you ever think about you ever think about this? You ever think about life, man? I'm like, okay. Like, yeah.
And you're like, whoa, I'm 15 years old, man.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like
it's cool though. No, it's great.
He's going through it, and I think I don't really know what it looks like now that it's I have so many thoughts about how it looks like now that it's open world, and I do hope that I hope it gets streamlined a little bit. I like Scarlet and Violet, but it's like just looking at like the way you played it, and I would have liked some more direction, at least with at least like story threads. I would have liked some more direction, because but in the same way, like I loved Arvin. Arvin wasn't.
I was gonna say Arvin's a phenomenal character,
and like he asked you to do something with him at the beginning, but he's clearly like not doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, and he has
his quests are unique.
Yeah, he has a lot of stuff going on, and he'll show up with you every now and then. So if it has to be like that every time, I think it's fine. But just more unique people, like and I think what really helps with it's in Diamond and Pearl with those like those 5 characters, which I think it works so well, and why it struck me so much is that they just, and it's simple, they just tell you at the beginning, I have my own goal in life. Like I am a trainer, but like
this is where we just so happen to intersect, and that's what's cool.
Yeah, like you're here, I'm here, let's go together. But like I am, I'm doing this thing, and I'm gonna go do that thing when you go do your thing as well. And so it doesn't have to be complicated. So like I thought that Scarlet and Violet would have been the perfect place to have like kind of like Arvin, but like people who just tell you at first like oh yeah, I have Pokemon, but like my passion is baking, and I'm on a baking quest, or like any trade that they're just like on a mission for, and you see them like every so often. I think that would get me just right. I feel like it's like on the tip of my tongue. Like I'm describing something that is in like either Gen 6 or Gen 8. I don't remember exactly what it is, but just like recurring, I don't know, recurring people on the side
Yeah.
help a lot for me.
Yeah.
If rivals are nice.
Would you
yeah.
consider like Bede and Marnie from Gen 8 that kind of thing, or are they a little too rivalry? Like, what would you?
I think
Where would you slot
I
them?
thought that I always am shocked when I like line up my opinion with what my perception was with like I guess like the actual intent, because I thought that the way that it plays out, that your final like rival was Marnie, because Bede and
Yeah.
Hop get kicked out of the tournament pretty early,
Yeah.
and then at the end, but even else, like Marnie might be like, I have like, I don't think in easy access to, actually no, it's I have a Barney mouse pad, but that might be a little
Nice.
hard. One of my favorite characters just across, because it's like just like N, but I thought Marnie was done better than N, because they showed her like, they showed her like, I don't know, outside of her relationship with you, and
Yep.
also I just kind of dived into her, and it's like a similar story, but just somebody who has their own, and she really had a problem, and also had a problem. They're both great, but it's like,
Yeah.
Marnie really had a problem that she was dealing with that was not imparted to you at first, and like you get to, and I feel like there's a whole thing to unpack here. Maybe someday, about like the effect that like sports and like sports leagues can have like on cities, because that's their city is the only one that doesn't have the Dynamax spot, and then
that's right.
it's just this like brooding dark town that is like filled with all of these screaming people that are mad all the time, and that's really weighing on her, and she's like hiding a country accent to be popular, and is like, I really want to put my city on the map because everyone's suffering. Is a really like,
it's cool,
surprising cool story from this character. And then you fight her. She maybe you can do it in a different order. She was like the finalist I fought in mine, and it was like, wow, this really feels like a clash of wills at the very end.
Oh yeah.
And not to say anything bad about, I also loved Bede and Hop is also I loved Hop, but I kind of thought they were more in the vein, like at the end, like Hop really got me too, like, because he's like, I'm your rival, and then at the end of the game, he's just like, he found himself. Like, that was something I didn't even know I was missing in a Pokemon game, was like a character who is followed closely, maybe just in any story, who is like, he just simply tells you at the beginning, he's like, I'm gonna beat you one of these days, and then at the end of it, he's like, I don't think I want to beat you.
That's not what it's all about necessarily.
I don't want this. And like, wow, that's crazy, man. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then him connecting with whatever his box art legendary is, that's when it all kind of comes full circle, and he like realizes that and has this really kind of come to Zacian or come to Zamazenta moment. That's really cool, so to say.
It doesn't have to like break the mold every time, right? But like that level of like see, that's why I don't really, controversial opinion, I think, but I don't really like the rival from the first game. No. He's fine, and he's a fraud. He's mean. He's mean. Yeah, he's fraudulent. He's mean, and he like checks all the boxes, but like, what is his life if not a reflection of your own? Like, I don't know. He like almost makes me, in the Pokemon Adventures manga, and in like the sequel, he's like his own thing. But I just, from like the little bubble you have of him in Fire Red and Leaf Green, like, I don't know. I almost feel like it not bad for him because he's so mean, but like, it makes me sad that it's like he, because right out of the gate, he's like, Grandpa, like, why did we wait until Drew gets here? I want a Pokemon. And it's like, just wait until Drew gets here, okay? Like you need to calm down. You're maybe not maybe he's a more important grandkid than you are. And then he's just, until the end of, and like the last thing he says to you, he's like, I raised my Pokemon perfectly. Why did I still lose to you? Like, like, dang, dude.
He just never progresses. He's like the same character at the end as he is at the beginning.
And there's like, there's more to life than me and this.
Right.
I think, and I was way more, like, I thought that I was touched way more by Silver, actually, because I thought it was like, oh, this is Blue as a kid, but like, he figured it out in the end. Like, every good story needs a conclusion, and I love it. This is my favorite like pieces of trivia in the game is this. He's like just the worst attitude maybe of anybody. And then at the end of the game, like it might not have been in Gold and Silver, but in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, in your final battle, he finally evolves Golbat, who needs friendship to evolve.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm like, Silver, like you did it, man.
You did it, man. You
figured it out.
That's awesome.
And
That's cool.
they and everything is fine in the end because blue is really cool in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and he's like found himself. I just wanted to see it. I think was like so to answer your question to compress it all down.
Mhm.
I just want to see that happen. Like I
Yeah.
want to see those moments where characters change. So maybe Hop is a cruddy rival, but like getting to see the moment, like because there's like one of your fights, it's like you really break him, and he's like, "I suck.
Yeah.
I'm so bad."
I kind
at
of
this
felt bad. It's
game.
one of the first times I felt bad
Yeah.
about like kicking my rival's butt. I was like, did I
So
break this kid?
he just runs off. He's like, I have some
Yeah.
thinking to do, and he runs
Uh-huh.
off, and then
You don't see him for a bit.
yeah, and like that's it. That's
cool.
the magic right there. Getting to see the characters change. Which I guess is not always like a guarantee in a world, and that's fine. But like those are like some of the most special moments to me
Mhm.
is getting to I guess see the journey, like, or
Yeah.
at least witness it, like just like walk in
Mhm.
on somebody who's training or going about their old thing. I love getting to see that in Pokemon or in any game, and I think, but just because of all the elements that Pokemon lends itself to, that's what you like that's like it. Those are the highlights because there's so much like emphasis on growth and development and leveling up and being like you're on your journey. It's all about the journey. So
Mhm.
getting to see other people on their journey, it hits me in a really special place.
That's awesome. I love that. Kind of moving on to, so talking about that topic and things, you've covered a wide variety of topics, and I guess one of the things that we were kind of curious about is what was one of your favorite topics that you've kind of researched, that you've looked into, maybe kind of like the tidbits that you found. And if you can give us any sneak peeks, like do you collaborate with others to kind of find out any information or anything like that? Just kind of details on what your favorite topic was, and if you work with others to kind of figure out the hard stuff.
I think that my favorite video that I did, or like in the topic that was in it, was I did a thing on the wireless mini games in Fire Red and Leaf Green, and the video didn't go crazy or anything, but that was so special to me, and I haven't really gotten to do that again because like and I was working with, and I needed people to play the games with, of course, because I was like I tried doing it with like 3 Game Boys in my hand, and I'm like I'm not gonna finish. This is gonna take a year if I have to like learn the muscle mechanics I need to play this game all 3 at once. And so I had some friends helping me with that, and then
Awesome.
I had some those friends helped with it also, but then I had some friends online who were like one of my best friends, she's like helps me look at the decompilations of games. Like I'll ask her is like, hey, do you think we can we like go over this and like try to see if we can figure out like what the reasoning is behind this madness, because this is a pretty like complicated thing and sometimes it's not very well understood. And I usually look straight for especially with the older stuff, because it's so like it's readily available. Like they're usually just on a GitHub at this point, and you just search for like the game's decomp, and then you can kind of like go through the code and kind of see, like hopefully see what maybe they were intending in some ways. That's usually like, I don't know, like one of my first big dives. And but in the case with that one, we got to like, and it wasn't much, but we got to add stuff to Bulbapedia that was like not known about that. Like I think we like in a combination of like playing and testing with like looking at the code, like we figured out what the reward tables, we figured out the distribution for the reward tables of the game in a way that did not seem to be documented. And
that's crazy.
That's like, I don't know, one of the things I care about. Like I would say I sometimes I'm just having fun, but like the thing I like I guess the thing I want to contribute to the most is like, and like beyond just game understanding, but like is like like archival work and like
Yeah.
documentation of this old stuff, and making sure that it's like making sure it's written down in some way. And as like as far as like what the future holds, that's something that I'm kind of like always like have my ears open about, is like archival work that I can contribute to in this field, and making sure that nothing gets swept through the cracks. And like and I try to keep like a really close ear to like whenever, like, because it's like it seems like it's kind of over now, but there's like a big season of like the betas dropping for the games. And I I was like taking notes during those, because or like watching about them, because it's like, yeah, like this is the lost history of the games that like I really hope gets stored somewhere. And they're very good about that, but like there's just some things that just haven't really been dived into, and if I can contribute in those areas, I would love to. But yeah, that was so it wasn't really the topic itself, but just what we got to do was so special and so important to me. I really felt like we were contributing, and I just love doing that. As far as like for me, I don't know, maybe like really the Vermilion City video is one of the most fun, like, and that's just like I feel like me at my finest. Like that's like what I would show someone to like figure out what my deal is, like, is just. And also I guess kind of like I don't there's a couple actually, but I started like getting onto this like genre of videos that was like I maybe you've seen it. It's like this guy Annie Austin does these videos on like unemployment in games. Like he like goes through like he went, the one I saw was like he went through the main area of Mario Sunshine, and he's like, we're gonna document whether or not these people have jobs, and we're gonna surmise and figure out if they do.
That's
and
awesome.
I was really touched by that, and I was like, oh, what a creative way to like share the way that an area in a game makes you feel. And I felt like I was seeing more and more of that, and like I had this idea to do that for a while, and like, so I mean, it doesn't really involve any research because it's just kind of like what's in my brain, but like as like I really want to share how this area makes me feel, because this is like this is weird, this is anomalous, like, and just really letting loose with like nothing's off the table here, like whatever this like thing makes me feel, like there's probably a way that I could like communicate that to someone and have it have meaning. So and it's all Pokemon, like, yeah, so it really runs the gauntlet. Like sometimes like it's, I don't know, like very technical, like I find something that is like, oh, I really want to demystify this, and that means doing a lot of research. But sometimes it's just like, how do games make us feel, and can we find that joy that they had when we were little.
Man, you put things so well, man. Now we're gonna go on to our rapid fire round. We're going on to something a little more quick, fun.
Okay.
Just before we move to our shower thoughts. So really quick, Suicune and Entei, cat or dog?
They are not dogs. They're not dogs.
I love.
I don't know why people say that.
Everyone says it, man. Everyone says that.
They're always dogs. It's like there's like I especially with Raikou, like what
Raikou
dog has ever looked like this? What dog has ever looked like this? It's not just a cat, but like if it's a leopard and a tiger and a lion. Please.
Ooh, okay.
Please.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Nice. All right, next one. What, fitting for you in your name, what would a Paradox, Shroomish, or Breloom look like, whether that be past or future, as well as typing if you can come up with one on the spot?
Oh, I think that I don't know why I had this thought about the past one a while ago. I thought instead of like a shroom, like it's like short and kind of stout, like if it was like, I don't know, one of those like kind of like rugged looking palm trees that you would see in like a dinosaur movie, and so it like totally like reversing the proportions. I don't really know where its face would be, but like, and it would like be like, I don't know, but it'd be like look kind of grotesque, you know, like they all look like a
they
little,
all do, yeah,
like a little it's not
abominations,
exactly
kind of.
gross. Yeah, it's but I don't know.
Yeah, I get what you're
There's a
saying.
good balance there. So be like a palm tree, and then I like the idea of Breloom with robot arms. Like there's
Oh
like
yeah.
an
Mhm.
episode of like the Gen 1 anime where Team Rocket had like a robot Kangaskhan that could do actual comet punches because it would like detach its
Its
fists and
fist
they
and
would
shoot it
fly
out.
around.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
something like
and
that.
they don't it's not very many pictures of this. Maybe it's a little cursed, but it's like in the anime, Breloom can like shoot its arms like little bungee
Yeah.
cords. So like
Mhm.
maybe like detachable rocket fists would be
Something
good
like that.
for Breloom.
I love that.
Nice. I
think
like
that's
it. I
awesome.
like it, man. That's good stuff.
All right. Now I think we can move into our shower thoughts section. So these are just kind of the fun thoughts off the top of our head, you know, the fun little things, kind of like you were saying with the Machamp, the man in the, you know, Vermilion City. This is one that I had. So obviously you've had, you know, questions like Porygon, is it an invasive species, things of that nature. So my question for you is, how did the first ghost Pokemon come to be?
Whoa, that's tough. I feel like no matter where you go, the answer is going to be pretty grim. Like,
I
you
know something
really
has to
think
die.
about this.
I
Something
know,
had to have
right?
happened.
Something has to die, right?
I think that I really, they've gone to great lengths to say that this is not the case, but like I really liked the idea that they weren't ghosts, but like Gengar was Clefable's shadow, like taken
Yeah.
on form.
Yeah.
I thought that was I don't know, like a lighter look,
A
like
less
a
grim
lighter
way.
idea. Yeah, it's like maybe these are just like shadows or like
So not
maybe
necessarily
more
ghost types, more shadow types, so to say. So it's not as
yeah, like or like even like grim manifestations of like I think something I saw so a cool explanation I saw in the Pokemon Adventure story that was like Ghastly would just Ghastly got lumped in with like the other pollution Pokemon and like air
Oh.
pollution areas just like spawned like essentially a ghost of the environment. Like
super
the
cool.
air pollution like gained form and it was like vengeful to the industry that had poisoned the
Yeah.
land. It's like that's really like
That's
because
really
it's
cool.
like it's still a ghost. It is definitely a ghost, but it's like the ghost of like Christmas past instead of like a ghost of a guy. So
Right.
I like that.
I hope that they are just like either like a manifestation of like revenge or something. But they do say in like just the first games that Marowak died and
You're right.
I can't really get around that. And then you fight Marowak, so maybe they are just spirits.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I
I
kind
want to
of
say there are even a couple other Pokédex entries that say like it's a spirit that attaches to some sort of inanimate object, and
Mhm.
then lo and behold, you have Doublade or you have Sinistea or whatever it is. So I mean,
I think Phantoms they just say is like this is a dead
I think
kid.
it's
Yeah.
straight up. It's like it's a kid that's possessed a
your
little
mask
little
is
screech
similar.
that's-
Yeah. I kind of like
Yeah,
yeah,
the
they
your
just
idea
mask
say
is
of
similar. Yeah,
I kind of like the idea of like kind of like you were saying the shadow of things like and maybe I don't know this is a personal conspiracy theory but like maybe it's kind of related to Giratina, right? Or if we're talking about like the distortion world, like maybe
that could be big. I like that a lot
like
actually.
it could kind
that's
of come
good.
from like the distortion world, maybe things of that nature because that's a piece of lore I'd like to see more. So I'm gonna stick by that. Maybe distortion world, kind of malice,
That's
like you
cool.
were saying.
That's my I wish that did maybe I missed it. Could you go in the distortion world in Arceus? That was like my one big ask of that game that did
I
not
don't think
happen.
Wow.
so.
I was like, damn, I would have loved to roam the distortion world in this
Yeah,
environment. And
that would have been
I don't
cool.
know, maybe put some more flavor to that, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
I'm not upset.
That would have been
All
awesome.
right, well, I got one. I got one more for you. This one's a little more
Okay.
lighthearted and maybe not as deep. So don't judge me for it. But do you think that Meryl is a Pika clone?
In like a real world sense or like in world like
Let's say both. I've seen
I think
people say like outward, like it's as far as like Pokemon Company intention, like this is basically a water type Pikachu kind of thing. The way it looks, mascot kind of thing.
The
Whether you agree
Peekaboo.
with that or disagree with that, yeah, Peekaboo kind of thing.
I was definitely I was on the playground calling that Pokemon Peekaboo because I saw the movie.
Yeah,
I don't think I saw it. Maybe they had it at the theater, but I saw that movie and I saw the Pikachu short, and somebody's like, "Oh, that's Peekaboo." Like, watch out! I was like, "Oh man, that's awesome! Yeah, it
that's
looks
cool.
like
Wow.
Peekaboo."
Yeah.
It's cool how they do this stuff. Um,
Or what do you consider it?
probably I don't. It's. I've never actually put that together. It probably is the Pika clone of Gen
Right.
2. Well, maybe. If there can only be one, I think the reason I didn't think that is because Pichu
Because
is
Peach is
like
there, right?
Okay.
yeah, and like Pichu got a lot of special attention that like I think separated it from Pikachu, and at least around the time it really seemed like they wanted like Pichu to have a separate identity. I mean, it's in Smash, and they had those like
Mhm.
little guys, and like they had like the
Yeah.
Pichu brothers in some of the shorts, which I don't know if that's really a thing that they like. I've not seen them in ages, but
Right.
it seemed like they wanted them to. But Meryl definitely looks like that way for sure. I think I kind of agree with you now. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's like yeah, it's a Pikachu
There
of
you go.
Gen
Why not?
2. Azumarill is my favorite Pokemon just by
Azuma's
by a
awesome.
mile. Yeah.
Design
Um
wise, utility wise, all of the above.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good mon.
I can live with it being a Pikachu clone. It
There you
was
go.
designed in a lab to be appealing to me, and I
Uh-huh.
can't deny that it is.
No, I always thought the same thing where I'm like, yeah, I just thought it was Pichu because yeah, it kind of has its own personality in the anime, gets a lot of attention in other games, but then yeah,
You even
someone
get
brought
that.
it up relatively recently, and I'm like, oh yeah, maybe Meryl is one. But anyways, um, that's fun. Well, hey, we very much appreciate it. You know, we wanted to say thank you again for hopping
Of
on.
course.
You know, Jen, I mean, we reached out for a reason. We love your content. There's clearly a
Oh,
lot of passion behind it. It's really well done. It's really well edited. You're clearly a very very smart and intelligent guy, and it comes across in your content. And you know, the growth is deserved. And you know, before we leave, do you have any last nuggets of wisdom to impart to us and our listeners?
well, like I was saying earlier, look for. I think if I could, my one piece of wisdom is like games. Don't take games so seriously, and
Mhm.
beyond games, just look for fun. Allow yourself to look for fun and beauty, like in everything you engage with, because um, I think that one of the biggest, like I don't know, something that has made me so sad recently is just like because it's games, it's the workifying of games, and just like like just have like I guess not just have fun, but like
Yeah.
let yourself have fun. Embrace
Yeah.
the silliness. Embrace the shower thoughts. Embrace like just embrace just warmth and joy, and in the things in it, I guess in the media and stories that you engage with, and hopefully you will thank yourself for doing so, because that's been one of the biggest changes for me. And like I don't know, from I was almost like almost out, like I don't know, just like raging at Pokemon and games, but like just I don't know, letting like exploring the silly, be silly, just
Mhm.
be silly.
Be silly. I
I
love,
love
it.
it.
It's great stuff. Cool. Well, we appreciate it. For those listening on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, subscribe to us there. Of course, on YouTube, we'll be posting a full video version there as well. So subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll be pumping out some other content as we're getting things rolling. And again, we appreciate it, Drew. And for next time, this is Josh and Logan with Skill Link signing out.
See you guys.